video for you with new stories from Ethiopia, Eritrea, Somalia. Firstly, we have a story from Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital. A Russian foreign minister Sergei Lavrov has arrived in Ethiopia. He visited Egypt, then Congo, Uganda, and today he arrived in Addis Ababa. Will he meet PM Abiy? Where is PM Abiy? And what is the agenda of this visit of Sergei Lavrov? Secondly, a new story for you from Somalia. Yesterday, Egyptian president in a joint press briefing with Somalia's president claimed that he and Somalia's president agreed that unilateral action should not be taken on transboundary rivers, and the two agreed that a legally binding agreement should be reached among the parties regarding operations and fillings of GERD, Ethiopian dam. But today, Villa Somalia spokesperson denied this claim of Al-Sisi, Egyptian president. Thirdly, we have a new story about Ethiopia, Kenya electricity purchase agreement. Kenya will purchase electricity from Ethiopia. Today, an agreement was signed between the two governments in Kenya. Fourthly, just a few hours ago, Ethiopian National Defense Force and yesterday Somali regional government of Ethiopia claimed that Al-Shabaab attacks on Ethiopian territory had been completely repelled. All Al-Shabaab fighters killed, captured, wounded. But once again, today fighting erupted in the Somali region of Ethiopia between Al-Shabaab fighters and Ethiopian forces. Fifthly, we have a new story from Sweden where we know that at the end of this week, a diaspora festival is due to be held and some opposition groups are trying to stop this program. Today, a statement was issued by an opposition group. The opposition group claims that the organizer was denied access to the park where this festival is due to be held. Contact has been cancelled reportedly, according to this Eritrean opposition group. Lastly, we have some details for you about Ethiopian Orthodox Church Patriarch Abune Mathias. In the previous video, I shared a clip showing some arguments happening between immigration officials at Bole Airport and church officials. It was being claimed that Abune Mathias, Orthodox Patriarch, was trying to take along some religious artifacts. A campaign is underway against Abune Mathias. Now we have details for you. And secondly, who received Abune Mathias in the US? He has arrived there, but people kept on waiting at the main arrival exit for Abune Mathias, but he did not use that main arrival exit. He left the airport using some back door or some VIP door. Who received him there? Was he received by Tigrayan diaspora community? Will he return to Ethiopia? Firstly, Sergei Lavrov, Russian foreign minister, has arrived in Ethiopia. In Addis Ababa, he landed a few hours ago. Before visiting Ethiopia, he visited Egypt, and then he was seen in Congo and in Uganda, and now he is in Ethiopia. Demeke Mekonnen, Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister of Ethiopia, welcomed Sergei Lavrov in Addis Ababa. Meetings will be held between foreign ministers, Foreign Minister of Ethiopia, Demeke Mekonnen, Foreign Minister of Russia, Sergei Lavrov. The question is, will Sergey Lavrov meet Ethiopian PM Abiy or not? For the last 10 or more days, more than 10 days, for the last more than 10 days, Ethiopian PM Abiy has not been seen in public. Last time he was seen when he delivered a speech. He addressed Ethiopian House of Representatives. Since then, he's been missing. Will Sergey Lavrov meet PM Abiy or not? That remains to be seen. What will come under discussion during this visit of Sergey Lavrov? We know that Russia is due to organize Russia-Africa Summit. Summit will be held in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa. It will be held, I think, in October. So before that, Russia is holding talks with key players in Africa, Egypt, Uganda, Ethiopia. And we know that Russia has emerged as a key Ethiopian ally in last year's at the last year's sessions of UN General Assembly, UN Security Council, when US was trying to have sanctions imposed against Ethiopia at UN Security Council sessions. Russia supported Ethiopia. So Russia is now an Ethiopian ally. China is Ethiopian ally as well. That is why perhaps Addis Ababa was chosen as the city where Russia-Africa Summit will be held. We'll update you about any meeting, if it happened, between PM Abiy and Sergey Lavrov. Second news story is from Somalia, viewers. Yesterday, Egyptian President Abdul Fattah al-Sisi claimed that he held talks with Somalia's President Hassan Sheikh about Ethiopian GERD dam, and the two agreed that Ethiopia should not make unilateral moves and there should be a legally binding agreement about the filling and operation of the dam. But today, Villa Somalia denied the claims made by Abdul Fattah al-Sisi, Egyptian president, yesterday, though Hassan Sheikh remained silent yesterday during joint press briefing when Sisi said that the two presidents discussed GERD, Ethiopian dam. Hassan Sheikh did not say a word. He did not reject what Sisi said. But today, Villa Somalia spokesperson Abdi Kareen denied that Ethiopian dam came under discussion in Sisi Hassan Sheikh talks. Sisi is under pressure at home in Egypt because Ethiopia is filling the dam for the third time. And despite threatening Ethiopia, Egypt could not stop Ethiopia from these fillings. So he is under pressure in Egypt, and he wants to project Somalia as an ally against Ethiopia. That is why Hassan Sheikh was invited. A special plane was sent by Egypt to for Hassan Sheikh and delegation. So far, Somalia's President Hassan Sheikh is handling Sisi's attempts to project Somalia as an ally very diplomatically. Only question is, will Somalia allow Egypt to build a military base on its soil or not? And we could see announcement of some humanitarian aid for Somalia by Egypt, which Somalia needs. But Villa Somalia has denied the report that Ethiopian dam came under discussion at Sisi Hassan Sheikh meeting. Next news story is about Ethiopia Kenya agreement. Today, Ethiopia and Kenya signed an agreement, power export agreement. Ethiopia will export electricity to Kenya. The agreement was signed in Naivasha, Kenya. Uhuru Kenyatta, outgoing Kenyan president, who has just a few days left in office, signed this agreement. Kenya will purchase 200 megawatts of electricity from Ethiopia, and this transmission will grow to 400 megawatt in coming months and years. So GERD is becoming a source of regional unity. If neighboring countries start relying on Ethiopian dam, neighboring countries like Kenya, like South Sudan, Sudan as well, and Somalia, especially Kenya, Kenya is close to the border, not border, it's closer to the dam than Somalia. So if Kenya, South Sudan, Sudan, if they start relying on GERD, GERD could become a matter for regional development. All these countries could start supporting Ethiopian position on GERD. And that is what Ethiopia is trying. Ethiopia will sell power to these countries, maybe at low prices in the beginning, to make them dependent on Ethiopian electricity. It's a good strategy that the region should make use of this Ethiopian dam. Fourthly, we have a new story from the Somali region of Ethiopia, where around a week ago Al-Shabaab fighters entered, and since then fighting has been going on. But yesterday Somali regional government and today Ethiopian National Defense Force claimed that Al-Shabaab attacks had been repelled, that all Al-Shabaab fighters had been killed, captured or wounded, that fighting erupted in several places, and Al-Shabaab fighters tried to enter the region from 5 locations, but all attacks repelled. And state media shared some numbers that 100 were killed in Hulhol, and around 80 were killed in Firfir on Ethiopia-Somalia border. But today, once again, fighting erupted between Somali Special Force members and Al-Shabaab fighters again in Hulhol. Hulhol is in Afdir zone of the Somali region. There in some mountainous areas, Al-Shabaab fighters were hiding and clashes erupted there. Now, state media and pro-government activists are claiming that in the fighting, 30 Al-Shabaab fighters were killed and 10 were captured. Yesterday, government was saying that there was no Al-Shabaab fighter in the Somali region. I talked to a representative of the region, Somali region, and he said not an inch of the Somali region was under the control of Al-Shabaab fighters, that all had been pushed out of the region and most had been killed, captured, wounded. But you see that today once again Al-Shabaab fighters emerged and fighting happened in the region, Somali region of Ethiopia. It means that Al-Shabaab is still there in Afdir and neighboring Shibale zones of the Somali region. It's operating in small units. It might be receiving more reinforcements because it's a long border. Ethiopia-Somalia border, it's a long border. It's difficult to man, to completely control this border. And we know that Ethiopian National Defense Force is deployed to so many places in Ethiopia. Ongoing fighting in Oromia, deployment in Western Tigray, ongoing operation against Fano in Amhara region. So, ENDF is split. It's difficult for ENDF to man the entire border. But ENDF was nowhere to be seen. The border was being controlled by Somali Special Force. Now, when ENDF is back with Somali Leo Police, even now it's difficult to man the entire border. That is why I personally think that Al-Shabaab fighters will keep on entering Ethiopia, and Al-Shabaab is predominantly, totally a Muslim extremist group, and Somali region of Ethiopia has mainly Muslim population. So Al-Shabaab can have some support in the region, and that is why Al-Shabaab commander was recruiting some youth in the region who was killed more than a week ago. And after that, Al-Shabaab carried out this attack in multiple directions in Ethiopia. Meanwhile, today, a businessman from the Somali region of Ethiopia announced 22 million Ethiopian birds for Somali Leo police. His name is Haji Igal. 2 million bird donation for the Somali Leo police, which fought against Al-Shabaab fighters and which claims that Al-Shabaab suffered heavy losses in the fighting in Ethiopia. Fifthly, a new story from Sweden, where we know that on the 28th of July, this week, a diaspora festival is due to be held in Stockholm, Sweden. And I will say the Eritrean poet has been invited, some other artists invited too. One of the major events, it is in Europe, and a large number of Eritrean diaspora community members is expected to attend this festival. But Eritrean opposition groups have been trying to stop this event. Bright Future Movement, which is an Eritrean opposition diaspora movement, has been trying to stop this program. The movement contacted local lawmakers, contacted local media as well. A local Swedish lawmaker, member of city council, opposed this diaspora festival, calling it festival of a dictator. And today, Bright Future Movement claimed that contract between the venue where this festival was being planned and organizers of the festival has been terminated. The park where this program was due to be organized will not be available now. The park facilities, its field area, its open area will be available. But reportedly, the management of the park, which is a public park, has intimated to the organizer of the festival that electricity, water, toilets will not be accessible. And Bright Future Movement said that it happened after massive campaign, social media campaign, and other campaigns launched by Eritrean opposition diaspora groups. Question is, will this festival be held or not? Will it be held at the same venue, or will the venue be changed? Several questions. So far, no announcement that the festival has been cancelled, but Bright Future Movement said that it is trying its best that this festival should be cancelled, because it is a way of raising funds for Eritrean government. It's not the first time that such an event, such a festival is being held across Europe. Eritrean diaspora festivals are held, funds are raised, and you see Eritrean diaspora community members clad in military uniforms. But this time we've seen a massive campaign against this diaspora festival in Sweden. And we know that a Swedish journalist from Eritrea basically is in prison in Eritrea. Daud Isaac in prison in Eritrea for around 2 decades. And despite Swedish government's appeal, Eritrea did not release Daud Isaac. He was accused of treason. He published some material in a newspaper about democratic reforms in Eritrea, and he and several other journalists and politicians were put in prison around 2 decades ago, still in prison. So that is why perhaps Eritrean opposition groups are receiving some sympathy in Sweden, and park management has cancelled its contract with organizers of this Eritrean diaspora festival. Lastly, viewers, we have a new story about Abune Mathias, Ethiopian Orthodox Patriarch, who arrived in the US today. When he left Addis Ababa, his luggage was inspected at Bole Airport, and reportedly there was an argument between Bole Airport immigration officials and church officials because he was carrying some material which was not allowed to be taken along. Reportedly, Patriarch staff showed all the relevant documents showing that Abune Mathias, the Patriarch, was allowed to take along these things. What was he carrying along, the Patriarch? Firstly, what we have learned is that two tablets were in possession. Secondly, 3 crosses and some holy books. And some of these things were being taken for a church in Los Angeles. And we have seen some documents being shared in social media which show that Abune Mathias, the Patriarch, was authorized to take these things with him. Was he allowed to take these things to the US? We don't know. Tomorrow, Abune Ibrahim, Ethiopian Orthodox Church General Manager, will hold a press briefing. He will clarify what happened at Bole Airport today. Meanwhile, the Patriarch has arrived in the US. But where is he now? Who received him? At Dulles Airport of Washington he landed, but he did not come out of main arrival exit. People kept on waiting for him there, Tigrayans as well, and some carrying Ethiopian flags too. Reportedly, he used some VIP gate or some back door. He did not use the main. Airport exit. Who received him? Who is hosting him? We don't know. It is being said that some Tigrayan diaspora community members received him, but we have no confirmation. I have not seen any video showing Abune Mathias being received by someone at Dulles Airport of Washington, D.C. It seems that his engagements in the US will be kept secret. What is his next plan? Will he return to Ethiopia? That remains to be seen. In 1991, when EPRDF took power, Abune Mathias had to leave Ethiopia. He was forced into exile and a new patriarch was elected. Church split into 2 administrations, one led in diaspora by Abune Mathias and the other led by Abune Paulos in Ethiopia. Are we going to see the same split once again, or will Abune Mathias return to Ethiopia? That remains to be seen. Tomorrow we'll update you after the press briefing by Abune Ibrahim of Orthodox Church. Thank you for watching.